Coming up this week on the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show, we hit the water with the Texas Team Trail as they take on gigantic Lake Texoma. Then we head to Florida for the annual Wolfson Children's Hospital Tournament from Palatka, Florida on the St. Johns River. Plus, student anglers compete for their state championship on Neely Henry in Alabama. Plus a look at Kentucky Lake with some names you know, our Sportsman's Warehouse product spotlight, and more. Let's get started.
The Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show.
Hey everyone, I'm John Byrne. Thanks for watching. As you well know, we're in the heat of tournament season for the bass anglers around the country. And we're going to kick off this week down in Gadsden, Alabama on Neely Henry Lake for the Alabama Student Angler Bass Fishing Association State Championship.
My name's Josh Oliver. I'm from Gadsden State Community College fishing team. We're out here helping out at the ASA BFA Student Angler. It's a tournament trail they got. This is their state championship. It's a two-day tournament here on Neely Henry in Gadsden, Alabama. And here we have a team from Northport. Look to be just pitching to submerged cover, probably stumps and brush, stuff like that up against the bank. And that's a very common way to catch fish up here, especially when they're pulling water through the Weiss Dam like they are right now. Looks like they got a pretty good tactic for today.
High school students from across Alabama competed in this two-day tournament for the chance at scholarship money, prizes, and of course, the title of state champion. Scholarship dollars are provided through a partnership of the Alabama Bass Trail and the Conservation and Natural Resources Foundation, working together to recognize outstanding student anglers and promoting community involvement, conservation, and outdoor activities.
What you got right here, there's good deep water coming into this creek, and there's a nice ditch that leads back up here into this, and then it flattens out into a big spawning bay. And there's a bunch of grass beds around here, and these guys are actually fishing on a grass bed that has deeper water right up to it, which has been key up here for the past couple weeks. It's going to be interesting to see what the weights do today. There were some good bags brought in yesterday, but you can see that fishing the grass has been a pretty common theme throughout this tournament so far, and the team up there just pulled a solid keeper out of the grass. Can't really tell how big it was, but you could tell that it would definitely keep, and it wasn't a small fish. Here's a team from Brooks High School. They just talked to them. They said they put a 5-pounder in the boat early this morning out of the grass, and they've moved out here trying to see if they can't make something happen around some of these piers and some of these current breaks out here. It's a good way to catch fish out over here on the Coosa when they're pulling water like they are. You can fish current breaks and eddy water, and there'll be sometimes big spotted bass or largemouth stacked up in it.
Soon it was time for the weigh-in. As moms and dads, family and friends braved a little rain shower, the anglers brought in the day's catch. Norman Brown, president of the ASA BSA, wrapped up the day for us.
Man, we've had some pretty rough weather. It's been rainy, kind of rainy and bad, but we've had a great turnout. We've put about 240 boats on the water for 2 days. A lot of kids out there fishing, about 440 high school anglers, some of the best high school anglers in the nation. This is the state championship. We're going to be crowning a club of the year today and state champions. Yesterday we had, I think, 1,400 and something pound of fish weighed in, over 600 fish. They've really been fishing hard. I can't say enough about them.
Congratulations to the next generation of professional bass anglers. For these results and other tournament results around the country, be sure to check in at anglerschannel.com. Coming up after the break, we visit with Kevin Van Dam and Strike King pro Mark Rose talking about one of their favorite lakes to fish. We'll be right back.
This portion of the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show is presented by Progressive, a leader in boat insurance. Brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. See for yourself by going to rangerboats.com, and by your local Sportsman's Warehouse, featuring quality Rapala baits, lures, apparel, and more.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, there are numerous bodies of water around the country that are reserved as great bass fishing. One of anglers' favorites is Kentucky Lake. Kevin Van Dam and Mark Rose share a little of what they like about this great body of water.
Kentucky Lake is one of my favorite lakes to fish. You know, all up and down the Tennessee River is great bass fishing. But, you know, I've had 2 Bassmaster Elite Series wins here. You know, there's just not a better place to come if you want to be able to catch numbers of quality fish. You know, whether you like to come in the spring when the fish are shallow in the bushes or in the summer when they're out on the ledges, Kentucky Lake is on time. It's got trophy largemouth and smallmouth. It's one of the best lakes in the country, one of my favorite lakes that I get to fish.
Hey folks, Mark Rose here. We're on Kentucky Lake, doing a little fishing this morning. Wind's blowing, and we're out here working some of this shallow stuff just right outside of the wind. That's the good thing about Kentucky Lake. You know, this lake offers a little bit of everything. You can go down, run down south, and you can really, you know, get into some really good grass fishing. And that's the thing I like about Kentucky Lake, man. It offers a little bit of everything. I can go out there and I can get on the Tennessee River and there's just miles, 60 miles of nothing but ledges. I've got on schools out here where I've caught 40, 50, 100 bass in one school. It's better than I have ever seen it. And so, you know, come out here and try Kentucky Lake. It's got a little bit, if you like shallow water fishing, it's got it. If you like deep water fishing, it's probably one of the best in the country. I kid you not. You're gonna catch more 3, 4 pound bass out here than I don't know anywhere within 1,000, you know, thousands of miles that you can go and fish. Here we go. Well, we got a bluegill, got a little bass. They're gonna give us one more jump. And we got a bigger bass. All right. Like I said, you know, right here we just switched over to a little rage blade. We were throwing a little square bill down these, and you know, you just never know. That's the thing about Kentucky Lake. That's what I like most about it. Look at that pot belly. Look how healthy that fish is. I see a big shad tail. I don't know if you can see this. Look down in his throat. You can see a big shad tail down in there sticking up. That just lets you know how fertile this thing is. But big nice fish like that, you know, that fish probably 3 3/4, but it's a good one. I'd like to have him in some tournaments.
For tournament news and tournament schedules around the country, all you have to do is log on to anglerschannel.com. Coming up later in the show, Vance McCullough gives us a report from one of the longest running tournaments in the country, the 25th annual Wolfson Children's Hospital Tournament from Palatka, Florida. Plus, he and Bassmaster Pro Mark Davis talk about crankbaits in the Sportsman's Warehouse product spotlight. But now it's time to test your knowledge on the legend in bass boats. It's time for our Ranger Boats Question of the Week. This week's question: with the unveiling of the Z520C, Ranger Boats also introduced what industry first that helps remove moisture from gear and equipment after a long day on the water? Find the answer to this and all you need to know about Ranger Boats by logging on to mydreamrig.com. There's plenty more ahead. Stay with us.
Today's show is presented by Progressive Insurance. Just ask Flo. She knows how to save on boat insurance. Sponsored by Evinrude, proven power, proven reliability. By Buckeye Lures, specializing in custom-made baits. And by Stratos Boats. Inspiration runs deep.
Welcome back. Let's catch up with our own Vance McCullough and Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Mark Davis in the Sportsman's Warehouse product spotlight as they talk about some crankbaits. Vance?
Hi, Vance here with Mark Davis, legendary bass fisherman. Needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway. Strike King Pro Mark Davis. And you got a big old chunk of hardware there, Mark. Talk to us about the Strike King 10XD. How do I get the most out of a big plug like that?
Well, you know, amazingly enough, you know, everyone thinks about fishing it really, really deep, and I do fish it deep. You know, and to do that, you know, you want a big, I like a 7.5 foot luge rod. It takes a bigger than average crankbait rod to throw this lure. A little bit beefier rod. A lot of guys will even go to like a medium powered flip stick, you know, 7.5 to 8 foot long. Line also is important. You don't want to throw this big boy on 10-pound line. You know, about 15 is about as light as I'm going to go. A lot of guys will even use it on braid. But here's the thing about a 10XD. You can go up to bigger line and fish it in, you know, 8, 10, 12 feet of water, and you're putting a big profile bait down there, and it's amazingly weedless with the big bill. You can fish it in trees, stumps. It's really a tool, You think about it as only as a deep water lure, but you can do a lot of different things with it.
Yeah, because a lot of times when those bass really want to feed, they get up shallow on that point near deep water, somewhere like where we're at right here.
Sure they do. Yeah, so don't think about it, as only a deep water lure, because it'll catch fish in that 8 to 12 foot zone. It's a killer down at Lake Falcon, and they catch a lot of fish at Falcon in that, 10 to 15 foot range on the 10XD.
That's awesome, folks. If you want to get a hold of some 10XD crankbaits and a lot of Strike King products, go to your local Sportsman's Warehouse.
Anglers from across Florida and across the country travel to Palatka, Florida in the St. Johns River for the 25th annual Wolfson Children's Hospital Bass Tournament. Vance McCullough, along with 450 other anglers, file this report.
The annual Wolfson Children's Hospital Bass Tournament blasted off from the city docks in the bass capital of the world, Palatka, Florida. 448 boats competed for the top prize of $10,000. Anglers from across the South and beyond show up each year to fish the Florida waters, including the St. Johns River, Rodman Reservoir, and Lake George. The weather is a bit windy at this year's event, but the fishing should be excellent. Celebrating the milestone of 25 years, the Wolfson's Children's Hospital Tournament has raised over $2 million to help children throughout the region who are in need of medical care. Here's Mike Albin, president of Wolfson Children's Hospital, to tell us more.
And what you do today here has just been fabulous. 25 years, quarter century of service to the children, over $2 million raised for the kids, and the work that goes, every penny that is donated through the bass tournament goes directly to providing services, equipment, and new facilities for the kids. It doesn't go to anything else. That's where it goes. It goes directly back into the kids.
Many anglers indeed had a good day, as evidenced by the bags of bass being brought in.
It was a very good day. We caught a lot of fish. Ended up with 3 decent fish, about 18 pounds, I guess.
You're right in there. 20.17 pounds. 20.17, 20.17, and I'm not so sure that's worth a couple $1,000 somewhere around in there. 8.49 pounds, 8.49. Who caught him?
I caught him.
No way. You didn't catch that fish.
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations. Come here. Let's get some pictures taken with him. Look at this pig. Again, probably a 12-pound fish a month ago, but it's already spawned out.
Some great weights were brought to the scale, but in the end, it was the team of John Cox and Keith Carson who literally outdistanced the competition.
30.14. I'll calm down a minute so you can hear what I'm saying. 30.14 just took about a 9-pound lead in a $10,000 tournament. He's got to have some pigs in here.
Yeah, we made a super long run, and it was amazing that it all worked out. We took that crest liner down. I mean, we go 80, 90 miles, got gas twice. Went across Lake George, which had 3-4 footers across it, and got down there and caught them quick.
Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to all the staff and volunteer who helped the Wolfson Tournament Hospital provide services for children in need. From Palatka, Florida, Vance McCullough for the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show.
Thanks, Vance. What a great time on the water, and for such a worthy cause. They've raised over $2 million for the Wolfson Children's Hospital from this tournament down in Florida. Coming up next, we're going to check in with the Texas Team Trail on gigantic Lake Texoma. Stay with us.
You're watching the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show, presented by Progressive Insurance, a leader in boat insurance. Sponsored by Snagproof, supplying anglers since 1961. By Ranger Boats, by Evan Root, by Buckeye Lures, by Stratus Boats, and by Sportsman's Warehouse.
Budget-friendly entry fees, 100% paybacks, and some of the best angler contingency reward money in the business. The Texas Team Trail is designed to offer premier tournament experience to the weekend angler as well as the pro and semi-pro. We begin with Shane Moore and Dan Wilson from High Point Marina on Lake Texoma as they prepare for the big day.
You ready to pull up?
Yeah, go ahead and pull up. You know,
How you feeling about today?
well, we don't know. We know it's going to be windy, so we're just going to go give it our best shot, and we'll see what happens.
So what's the game plan?
Go catch them. Hopefully. It's going to be windy, and it's supposed to. I think they said below 40 today, so it'll be pretty rough. But hopefully that, usually wind's good on this lake. Hopefully it'll make them bite. 7 o'clock, let's go. There's one. Don't be a striper. Striper. There's another one. That's gotta be it. Nope, that's a big smallmouth. Number one. One on the boat. Be feeling better when we get 5 or 4 more. Just gonna keep chunking and winding. See if we can grind out a limit. This tournament trail is, you know, it's brought out the best, you know, the best sticks around here. The guys that win the AOI race in this deal are, I mean, you can't, I guess you can't have a bad tournament against these guys, because, you know, there's several teams that just are up there every event. Really good anglers.
From down under, we have Carl Jacobson and Gene Eisenman. We're working some shallows and docks on Texoma.
Good one, big one, big one, big one. Come out, come out. Got him. Woo!
That'll call that little one.
There's a rope over there. Like, look at the. Come up here and check out like the spot. Like, we've come all the way in behind this dock. Let's get it out. We've come in behind this dock. It's 2 foot of water. I'm using an Alabama rig, super light. Well, it's a hog farmer. Big swim baits, and just pitching it around, fishing it like a spinnerbait. He was up. I fished there this morning, you know, that same spot. She wasn't there, and she'd moved up.
See the upgrade?
There you go. So that was our smallest fat spotted bass, and we're going to trade her out for that big girl. Now we're starting to get somewhere. You know, with what we've got, we're looking good to get a check and be up there, but it's not going to be near the top. We need a couple big. We need those real big bites now. Don't know. Nah, it's all good. Spotted bass. Lots of spots in here. We've caught a lot of spotted bass, and we had one, a nice one in our bag, but now we've got all largemouth, so it's up in about 2 foot of water. They're starting to move real shallow.
Right where we were. Let's go. I mean, right where we were.
That's crazy. They're moving up, eh?
Brothers Mark and Paul Mitchell worked a pocket that they knew well.
I think we actually have 3 different techniques that we're using in here. We're Texas rigging, 4 actually. Texas rigging, shaky head. Get him. Get him. Yes, that's a head. That's a head. That's a head.
Get in the brush pile. Don't get in the brush pile.
Keep him coming. 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 Back to the boat. Back to the boat. Back back in the boat, back in the boat, back in the boat, back in the boat.
Nice fish. Come on, don't break, don't break, don't break.
Keep him coming, keep him coming. Get him up, 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 get him up. Let's get this baby in here. We need this one. We need this one. I know it. You're all right, you're all right. Come on, break him this way. Yes! Yes! Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's why we came over here. That's why we came over here. I love it. I love it. We'll probably put this one on the big side.
Yeah, that one go on the big side.
Get the.
I'll keep this.
Back at the weigh-in, it was evident that Lake Texoma lived up to its reputation as one of the premier bass fisheries in the country. 194 teams competed to bring in the best weight and take home that new Ranger Z119 Evan Rudy Tech 150 combination.
Guys, let's give it up. Let's hear it for Eric Wright and Jeremy Sims, champions of the 2014 Texas Team Trail Lake Texoma event.
Eric Wright and Jeremy Sims won the top prize, bringing in a whopping 27.96 pounds and capturing $970 for big fish, weighing in the whopper at 9.17 pounds. Your top 5 rounded out the day with weights all above 22 pounds. Thanks for watching this week's Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show. For up-to-date tournament news, results, and all the information you need, just log on to anglerschannel.com, and we'll see you next week.